I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We welcome to the microphones Runea Ruin. Hi.
Hello, darlings.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
Hello, I'm Runa Ruin, eldritch goddess of pure curing knowledge, and I shall be your horror for this evening. 'Tis a pleasure.
Yes. Thank you so much for being on. I really do appreciate it. When
Thank you.
did you get started as a content creator?
Uh, Officially around August is when I started.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to that, I did do a little bit of management work and things like that behind the scenes. I taught a lot, and especially about like statistics and things like that.
Mm.
And basically how the human mind works. So like, okay, do this at this time, put this out at this time. If you want to get seen, or for a chance to be viral, put it out at this at this time. So it's
Yeah, that's a different
lot.
side of marketing, isn't it?
Yep.
You're getting into the nuts and bolts of the brain, and when you come up to that sort of thing, um, and uh,
Yep.
and people can talk about it all they want, but it works.
Yep.
And I saw it in radio, where
Yep.
people take that little extra effort and crunch it up just a little bit more, and they find that little nugget that helps them out a little bit, as far as it goes.
Indeed.
So have you found that to be helpful as far as getting the VTube thing going?
For myself, actually, quite a bit, honestly, because my biggest goal as a VTuber was to make friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I have made a pretty comfortable community at the moment, which I greatly enjoy. And we are a very close-knit community. I take care of them, they take care of me. Like, I kind of am mom over my little chicks at the moment, so it's pretty cute.
It's great when you can get a community like that, and it's not easy to do if you don't know what you're doing, or and it
Well,
and sometimes even when it grows organically, you kind of at the luck of the draw, aren't you?
yeah, definitely. It's what you play, how you talk, what you visually look like. There is so much to the human psyche that it literally plays on a lot of people, or how people will come to you per se.
Yeah. Well, once you kind of bring them in, and going back to the marketing, you got to hook them.
Yep,
You
you
got
got to keep them there.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times you want to keep people, especially with my goal, which is making friends, you want to keep people there that are more like-minded and such, where they just want to have fun, want to chill,
Yeah.
want to just play, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that helps. I mean, when you have that goal set out, and you know exactly what you want to do, and there are a lot of people who are just coming on just to see what they can do with it, which is fine. I mean, that's
Yeah,
I think we're going to see a lot more of that, where there will be
definitely.
there's going to be some people who do it, 4 or 5 times a week trying to make a living or making some money off of it, and someone who's going to do it
Yeah,
once a month.
yeah, yeah. It's in a proverbial way, it's taking a shotgun to the dark, and hopefully something sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's that sort of thing. So, how did you get involved behind the scenes with this sort of thing?
Well, my other profession is psychology. I'm a psychologist,
Hmm.
and I work a lot with children,
Hmm.
and a lot of these children, well, I worked with transitional aged youth mostly, so from like 15 to like 21.
Oh boy.
So yeah,
Yeah.
some of them aren't children, so but
Yeah.
a lot of them had a lot of questions,
Right.
and a lot of this stuff I would have to very much learn on the fly. Like, okay, I want to be a DJ. Okay, so I went home the next day, looked up programs, learned how to use all those programs, learned all this stuff, and the next day I would actually just go back and literally teach this kid how to do all this stuff.
Wow.
Or like another one wanted to be an actual VTuber, and so I learned everything about VTubing. And another one wanted to be a streamer. Another one wanted to be a singer. So it's me like literally learning everything behind the scenes and basically giving it back to kind of the community in a way.
Yeah. When you learned about the VTubing thing, what was your first reaction to it?
I initially I had learned about VTubers through clips. And so I was a fan of VTubing, but I was always kind of sitting on the sideline just watching clips,
Mhm.
and laughing and joking and things like that. And then when one of uh like my kids was like, "Hey, I want to be a VTuber," that's when I started to get down to nuts and bolts. And then a couple of friends were like, "Hey, we want to stream VTuber stuff." And it's like, "Okay, let me get all behind this, see what what I can do, and see how I can help you." And that's kind of what pushed me into more and more into that world per se.
Yeah.
Whereas I use all my psychology to kind of predict human elements at the same time as do do what I can to entertain as well.
Yeah. In all these interviews that I've done, and there's a lot, uh, there the reasons and the talents and the circumstances that everybody goes through are all different.
Yep.
Um, it's a fascinating look at the way people in different societies in different situations make the best of what they're doing. How they grab the triumph that is still in that circumstance. And I thoroughly believe, and you can since you're the learned person here, you can tell me how wrong I am, but um, I think that the people don't aren't necessarily and aren't the product of their surroundings, but they're the triumph that emerges from the surroundings.
Yes, a lot of the time, and it's exactly as you say, VTubers tend to be an extreme magnification of themselves.
Mm,
It's why a lot of us come up with these characters that kind of suit us because, like me, I myself, as an eldritch, and basically a procurer of knowledge,
mhm,
basically, I study, I learn, I grow, and basically I just keep watching, and that's where I kind of come from.
yeah,
Whereas others are like more player fun, or like they want to be free with flight. And it's very interesting because you a lot of people say, "Oh, I didn't know this was gonna I just kind of chose this." And just choosing it a lot of the times is a lot of the subconscious elements of yourself coming out and just being magnified.
right. And they tell me that they get a more of a chance to be themselves by
Yep.
doing this, with by putting the mask of the model on. Um,
Yep.
and I can understand that. And being in radio, we never showed our faces. There was a lot of times when people wouldn't use their real um, names on the air. Sometimes people
Yep.
put they change their voice. They get down real low and try to do stuff, and it sounds ridiculous, but they still try it. Um,
Yep.
and change things and be a different persona. Do you see a lot of folks doing this as more of an escape from where their life is, or as a chance to finally find a place to show who they really are?
So potentially it could be an escape, but more often than not, what I see from folks is that they just want to get out there and get heard. I would say about 4 out of 5 VTubers is an introvert.
Hmm.
And what's comfortable for them is being at home, being behind something that's protective in a way.
Mhm.
So a lot of that just kind of builds up to a VTuber itself. Like I I wanted to stream,
Mhm.
but with my job, I technically can't stream. So being a VTuber allows me to stream
Right.
because if my face is shown, I have clients, and if clients or their parents bring up a worry, then I'm fired.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot more to it than just not wanting to show your face. And in your instance, it's a professional type of thing.
Yep,
It's a necessity. And your job deals with a lot of rules and laws and a lot of things people don't understand. I know being a records clerk that there's a lot of things that people don't understand about these sort of things. Um,
yep,
a lot of confidentiality and that type of stuff. You have to be really careful about bringing anything from that into the VTuber sphere.
yep. Yeah, so it's kind of tippy-toeing around it, but at the same time, you do get to share some stories and things like that of hope and things like that to inspire
Mm.
others and hopefully help them grow as well.
Yeah. Do you see any instances where someone coming on and trying to the as a VTuber would be a bad thing for them psychologically?
So potentially having that anonymity um, does cause a bit of protection, and it allows living a different life per se.
Hmm.
So a lot of the times, uh, a lot of a lot of the older VTubers I know kind of just stand back, and we've talked before, and
Yeah.
we're like going into the VTuber sphere, especially like the competitive VTuber sphere, tends to be kind of like high school,
Hmm.
and all of us older ones who are standing back, like teachers, are just like, okay, come on, kids, time to go to class, time to learn how to communicate, time to learn life skills, time to learn,
Right.
and it's you kind of have that weird, interesting thing in there. So it's can VTubing can be dangerous, just
Yeah.
like streaming is.
Yeah.
But streaming can be a lot more dangerous because your face is on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. It is true. And do you think it can is it more dangerous to be a streamer or someone who is attached to the streamer, like someone who is it gets into one of those parasocial type relationships?
So talking about being parasocial and things like that is very, very, very dangerous.
Hmm.
Streamers put a lot of their life on the line,
Hmm.
and if you do get famous, you can get diva status or things like that.
Hmm.
But I think it was at which con? Uh, I was it Emily?
Yeah, it
Like
was
Emiru?
Amarillo. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there is that degree of separation that VTuber space does give,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it streaming in general just is kind of dangerous,
Yeah.
and it's like movie star status and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
yeah. It certainly
be
can be.
humble, but be open.
Yeah, and keep an eye on things.
Yeah,
And
like
have the boundaries and keep them.
yeah,
Um,
like personally myself, I do keep the spaces and things like that, but
yeah.
because of my job and things like that, I personally do have a security license. I am I'm martially trained. I am baton trained. I am firearm trained. Like I have all this stuff. Like so can keep my safety to a certain level,
Hmm.
but some people don't have all that.
Oh no, and most don't. By far
Yeah.
don't. And the is it tough for you while you're online to recognize someone in chat that may be at risk, or have you been able to find someone who is at risk
Yes. So
without, of course,
words and
telling
how
a lot
they
of
are
things?
placed
Yes.
a lot of the times. Like I grew up in, say, the age of forums and things like, and like the AOL chat rooms and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So I have been observing humans for quite some time.
Yeah.
And in these spaces, how you phrase things, how you word things, how things like progress, how pauses work, things like that can give huge indications if you're paying attention.
Right.
If you're streaming, you're not always paying attention because sometimes you have to like buckle down if you're playing a game or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Or if you have like hundreds of people that are talking, then it's a whole different story. But it's there are certain words, certain things, and certain phrases that you can watch out for that you're going to be like, okay, this is going to be a little bit dangerous. Okay, we're going to have to put this in safety mode. Okay, we're going to have to time this person out. Okay, we're going to have to do this or okay, we're going to like personally myself, I have checked like some of my chat, which I adore,
Yeah.
are part of my server, Discord server. So I, after stream, like literally DM them saying, "Hey, are you okay?" And see if they're okay because I do have training in multiple psychology type fields, especially ones that are more for declining mental state.
Right. You do you think it's tougher these days? And you're at least one generation younger than me, and maybe two. Um, to have the empathy needed to detect those types of risks in other people.
So I would say around probably generation end of, I think, what is it, Gen Z and
Mhm.
probably Gen Alpha may have that, especially due to a certain world-changing event
Mhm.
where human interaction tends to have held consequences,
Right.
and this is how you learn like social interaction per se.
Mhm.
But also, like personally myself, in the streaming sphere, I've seen a lot more those who are neurodiverse, which I do have ADHD myself,
Mhm.
um, are s- are reaffirmed in certain ways that if they were in a social sphere in a different way, um, would probably, unfortunately, learn fast and hard.
Mhm.
Whereas in the internet, in a way, gives you a kind of cushion buffer where you don't need to learn fast and hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough for me to relate with a lot of these things because I'm 60 years old. I am
Mm,
up. I'm up there. I went to school in the 70s. In the 70s, we didn't have a lot of kids being diagnosed with things such as autism or ADHD or this, that, and the other things. They just didn't
yeah.
know. It wasn't there.
Yep.
And 40 years later, I go to my high school reunion and I see some of these folks that had trouble at that age. And now I realize
Yep.
this is what they had.
Yep.
It wasn't that we have more of it now, just we know it exists. And they've done well
Yep.
with their lives, which I'm proud of them for. Um,
Hmm.
but now with so many things available, is do you think that folks who are in these diagnoses have a better chance of being successful VTubers because of how VTubing is set up.
Yes,
Mm,
because a lot of what streaming is about is finding individuals that sync with you in a very kind of special way.
mhm,
So those like, let's take autism, for example.
mhm.
Those with a certain type of autism can hyper focus on certain aspects of things,
Right.
and that hyper focus gives them a savant like type case in that field.
Hmm.
And basically, people see that passion, and people that are in that kind of same passion, what be lower or higher, kind of can resonate with that. And basically, it gives a leeway point of saying, okay, this person understands me. Now I can kind of ease myself into this and basically kind of maybe listen to a quote unquote friend and not have to worry so much.
Mm, mm. And I imagine being able to do this from home would give somebody a better comfort level. Um,
Of course.
I mean, at the worst comes worst, you can just shut the computer off and you're done
Yep.
with it for the day. Um, and there are some people who just thrive in different things, and I don't want to throw everybody in one category because it's not one size fits all. None of this stuff is. Um,
No,
do you think that autism has been done a disservice in the media by how it's portrayed in certain
yes.
shows? Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Um, those who have autism, they're thinking about those who are more often than not very low functioning. I work with a few of those, and they still get around. They still do stuff, and
Mhm.
they basically all you really need to do is just kind of like sometimes just point them in the right direction. They're like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah.
A lot a lot of the times it's just literally breaking things down so they understand the whys, the hows, and it's kind of just you just need to lay out things that are a bit layman. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just see certain shows on that almost point to autism as some sort of superpower. Like
Yeah.
these are really, super. Well, yeah, some are, and some
Yeah.
are just average folks who have autism.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So the superpower ones are the ones with what's called savant syndrome.
mhm,
And I believe it's 1 out of 10 or 1 out of 20.
mhm,
I forget the actual current
yeah,
statistics, but it's yeah, it's a very, very, very special case, and it's in a quote unquote useful field.
mm,
Whereas there are those that have interests that are outside of that that are deemed, oh, you're too rough to handle. And at those people, I'm just like, just let them be passionate.
mhm.
And that's great for VTubing,
No,
honestly.
yeah,
Let them be passionate
yeah,
and show off.
yeah. And they get to because I'm no expert, folks. I'm a former radio guy, and I'm asking questions of a person that knows infinitely more than I will ever know about it. It seems that the entire concept of VTubing kind of plays into that, where they can anybody who has a problem with interacting person to person with people can interact without having to face them straight up. There's not that pressure of having the two eyes on them at all times.
Yeah. Well, yes and no at the same time for that,
Hmm.
because streaming is still insanely difficult. Like an hour before I do my streams, usually I'm prepping, doing a lot of stuff,
Hmm.
and like an hour or two after my streams, I'm still like finishing stuff and things like that. and then there's a project on the side that you're doing and such. And basically, you have to make sure all those things are like properly set up and social things and things like that. And VTubing is a job in itself.
Hmm.
So, or streaming in it is a job in itself. And yeah, it's VTubing allows me to be here comfortably, but at the same time, a lot of VTubers still work pretty hard behind the scenes from what I've seen.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They
Yeah.
they really they go out of great guns. I'm never gonna say that they don't. I've seen folks who are scheduling themselves 26/8 during the week to do
Yeah.
these streams. But for you and in your profession, is VTubing an escape for you?
It allows me to follow more of my passions,
Mm,
per se. So I wanted to teach badly.
mhm.
And a lot of the time, I have to be very, very careful in my field what I say.
Right.
So I can't exactly teach whatever I want to teach. Whereas in the VTuber sphere, I just teach to the void, and those that enjoy it come enjoy it with me per se. So it's making friends as well as having that passion, as well as having that bit of an escape where I can kind of do what I want.
It's a jacket with a lot of armholes for you.
Yep.
Yeah. Has it become comfortable for you to do this without seeing anybody in person?
Yes, because a lot of the times I do see people that repeat come and things like that,
Mhm.
and they say hi, and it it feels nice.
Yeah.
Like I I am not truly beholden to them. They are not truly beholden to me. We do have the social norms and things like that, but at the end of the day, I'm where I am at. They are where they are at, and if they need help, I always say they can reach out, give me a call or like DM me, whatever. And but they get to do that on their time, whereas someone's not in my profession, someone's not literally kind of putting them there saying, okay, get fixed. And I'm just like, that's not how this works, hon.
Yeah. And here they are. You got 2 hours go,
Yeah.
and that's not going to work that way. If it did, it would make those psychology books a lot thinner. If you're able
Yep.
to do that sort of thing, and with you get to see a whole lot of different personality types, not just through your audience, but through other VTubers as well. Have you been able to
Mhm.
interact with any other VTubers since you've been on?
I am collaborating pretty much at least 2 to 3 times a week.
Cool.
So yeah, I'm getting to have fun with a lot of different friends all over the place, and it is a lot of fun. I actually host a lot of community days for my community as well.
Excellent.
So I literally will be streaming and have my community knows that there's rules, like you can't say certain words or things like that.
Right.
But like I will play games with them, and they some of them have become very good friends of mine in a
That's
way.
that's excellent. It's a kind of a I call it a kind of a campfire situation where um,
Yeah.
folks come around, sit around the campfire, and just be comfortable um,
Yeah.
in that sort of thing. Yeah, that's and to be able to do that with people standing upside down from you on the other side of the world,
Definitely.
and that's pretty amazing to me. And I tell
Yeah.
folks, my first job in radio, it was the second Ronald Reagan presidency, Almost said pregnancy.
Mm,
Now that would have been interesting. Um,
that would have been a hell of a time,
yeah,
especially since
yeah, that would have been an alternate timeline that what we need to go into. Um, the but it was a long time ago, and for me to talk to somebody, say in Singapore back then,
yeah,
would have cost about as much as a new car at the time.
yeah,
And would have sounded terrible, and would have had 6 overseas operators plugging stuff in, and now I just pick up a microphone, which is
indeed.
the world gets bigger and smaller at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
It's the world I have found out is oftentimes very full of paradoxes. And as you said, it does get bigger and smaller in a way because, like, I, during that world event a few years ago,
yeah,
per se, I was very much into virtual reality,
mm,
and a lot of people were too.
yeah.
So a lot of people were just pretty much partying around the world, and we didn't really miss the outside world because we had everything at our fingertips.
Yeah, yeah. It's that's a lot of technology got advanced quickly during that time,
Yeah,
and then necessity kind of pushed things forward, both I guess good and bad if you look at some things, I guess. But
yeah,
the virtual reality thing has become. My grandson has virtual reality now.
yeah.
When he can get it away from his dad. uh, there's a whole different story behind there. Do people have to be really careful with that if they are in certain places mentally? Um,
Yes,
mm,
very much so.
mm,
Um, there are ways to reach out for help in those spaces. But a lot of it is you have to be brave, you have to be able to get there, you have to know it's there, things like that. And yeah, there after that age, we had a lot of people with drinking problems per se. And
yeah,
so we had to kind of tailor ourselves around getting people away from the bottle
yeah,
in a way.
yeah. Find something to
Yeah.
get to keep him from having to fall back to it. Um,
Yep.
and the you know, and again, it's one size does not fit all.
Nope.
And and that's one of the most amazing things about humanity is sometimes the aspirin works on everybody, but sometimes the aspirin doesn't work at all for some people. Um,
Yep.
and you have to be sooner or later we're gonna well if we last that long as a species, we'll have a situation where we can diagnose and treat things by a person's DNA. Um,
Yep. We actually were pretty dang close, actually. A lot of the were getting really, really close and they're identifying a lot of things.
yeah,
It
yeah,
was a lot of that was shut down recently,
hmm,
especially in certain places.
yeah,
So it set us back quite a ways, I would say, which is
yeah.
really sad.
Well, I mean,
But I do look forward to the future where we hopefully can have such things.
yeah, it'll come back. I'm sure of it. Maybe I won't be here for it, but I don't have to be here for everything. Um, my brain can only hold so much. Um,
Yep.
and I have to let out fifth grade, so I don't remember any of that stuff. Uh, so when you are on,
I actually do.
yes, when you're on stream, what type of games are you playing?
I tend to play a lot of cooperative games,
Hmm,
things like that, where people can gather together.
hmm,
So a lot of Minecraft. There's things like Warframe, which is I very much enjoy, and I've gathered a fair community around it.
hmm,
And it's it's all of us going towards kind of a goal together. And basically a lot of the games I tend to play is all of us going towards a goal per se.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're working
So
together as a team, one way or the other.
yeah.
Yeah. So some of these games that are cooperative, um, they say they're working toward a goal, but they just kind of devolve into chaos.
Yes, yes, they do. And that's a different kind of growth experience because peace can cause stagnation, whereas chaos, even though it's chaos, can cause forces to cause growth at times,
Yeah.
which is horrible, but at the same time, you have to kind of have that balance in between, or else you don't keep growing.
Yeah. It also gets you a release every once in a while.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of there's so many things that if you sit and let it get to you, if you listen to the wolves howl at the door,
yeah,
it'll build up and build up and build up, and maybe you just need to go out there and be silly for a while.
yeah.
And
Like I'm playing Helldivers this coming Saturday myself. And Helldivers is super silly because you'll accidentally blow up your entire squad, and you're just like, oh shit.
absolutely, I watch people play Helldivers, and I'm like, this is basically land on the planet and shoot things till you die.
Yep, pretty much.
And that's okay. That's
Yeah,
not everything has to be Shakespeare. Um,
nope.
and I watched. I put this out all the time. I watched Transformers 2 with my stepdaughter. We didn't go to watch the great acting. We went to watch robots blow up, and we did.
Yeah,
It was fun. Um, and not every VTuber has to be super successful. Um,
no, they do not.
yeah, and you can be good. You can be a good VTuber. You can enjoy yourself with a small community. You can
Yeah,
catch fire and maybe make some rent money or something along the lines. Um,
yeah,
there's so much good that I think this medium has got a chance to do. Um,
it does. It really does. And as I said, it's kind of like high school, and
yeah.
a lot of dreams go into either high school to die or to grow
Hmm.
and or to flourish and things like that. It's the most chaotic, most volatile age of pretty much everyone's life.
Hmm.
And it's wonderful in its own way. It can be dangerous in its own way, and it's also spectacular. It
Yeah.
it really just kind of where you want to go, how you want to grow it, what you want to be, things like that.
I see some folks who you use it like they go out of high school, like they're leaving high school for college. They're still the same person, but the people you're going to be hanging around with don't remember that you split your pants in third grade reaching down for a pencil. You
You know?
you kind of set the narrative of who you are going in. You present yourself the way you want to present yourself. Um,
Yeah.
and for some folks who are going through all sorts of transitional things, I imagine it's just a giant boon for them.
It can be. It definitely can be because it's a different life per se again. It's a magnification of who you are to the umpteenth degree.
Hmm.
Whereas, yeah, it allows you to truly grow as an individual. And I keep a lot of my own space is about growth.
Yeah,
So I keep usually going back to that.
yeah. Do you see VTubing for yourself as something more to conquer, a space to conquer? Because it seems to me,
No.
it seems to me you kind of you've gone through different types of things, and you've learned about them, and you kind of look for something else to conquer and keep going, or is it still mostly just enjoyment for you at this point?
So VTubing for myself is enjoyment. It's what I kind of just get to do, get to kind of let rip
Hmm.
and let life enjoy because if you conquer something, usually that's the end.
Mm,
And that's sad.
yeah.
So, yeah, you just kind of have to keep, once again, that growth going.
Mm,
And I don't think anyone can conquer VTubing, really, because everyone is constantly growing, is constantly trying to do better, and everyone has that heart to them where they have their own stories, they have their own narratives, and it's amazing to see their stories.
that to hear people overcoming their circumstances and becoming successful and becoming happy and comfortable and enjoying life, or maybe they weren't necessarily enjoying it before. The I just get a thrill with that. I am.
Yeah.
It's wrong maybe to say that I'm proud of them, but I am proud of them.
Yeah, no, you are fully justified to be proud of them because they took those steps. They did their thing. They worked hard.
Mm,
Like it's and they grew themselves into this point where like take for instance probably the biggest person or VTuber we know, Iron Mouse.
mm-hmm,
I watched Iron Mouse when she was teeny tiny
mm-hmm,
and now she's huge
mm-hmm,
and she's still doing good things. She's still trying to grow. She's still fully human and makes mistakes.
mm-hmm,
But we understand that and it's that process of everything that she's going through that makes us so proud of her.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and to just hear somebody go from scared wallflower to having a community that they talk to every day and they're happy to see and people are happy to hear them smiling is very big for me to hear that sort of thing. There are so many stories like that in VTubing. Um,
Hmm.
and I hope that people are getting the positive messages from it. Um,
Yeah.
we can always use positive messages uh, with everything that's going on. Um, where do you think it's going to go? Uh, is it going to continue to have more and more people? Or are people going to start are going to find something else maybe to gravitate to? Or can this maintain itself 10 years down the road as something that's positive in these people's lives?
So VTubing is not going anywhere.
Mm,
I am highly sure of that. But explosive growth will slow down as with all kind of things with entropy.
mhm,
So basically everyone sees like, oh, the next Iron Mouse, the next and the next Kaisen or the next like
right.
Queso
Yeah.
or things like that.
Yeah.
And they see all these people, but there's usually kind of a rolling stone per se. So even a rolling stone has to deal with friction at a certain point,
Right.
and it'll slow down. It'll slowly start to wear away, and there will be left what's the core of the community that's just passionate.
Yeah.
And so rather than being just like, oh, this is a hit boom all of a sudden because all of this kind of happened during a time where the world changed.
Right.
And basically this was how I was able to feel like I communicated with outside world.
Right.
Of course things are gonna start slowing down after that now.
Yeah.
But what's left tends to be those who are actually passionate about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we'll see at least a a steer away from the I want to be in a corporation type mentality, uh, idle type of things. Maybe the folks can still be idols in a way, but that if you're in the United States, that's a concept I imagine that's tough to get into. Um, the
So idol mentality, which is more the YouTube space,
Hmm.
is what the Japanese do call kind of a black company mentality a lot of the times.
Yeah.
Whereas they utilize these talents until they're burnt out.
Yeah.
And I know I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for saying that, but it's in a way they shine their brightest and then they burn out.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Twitch mentality around a fair number of YouTubers, like let's take Centrea for example.
Hmm.
She continues to propagate. She continues to like get along with others. She continues to make friends. And it's just she builds her community for her community's sake and doesn't really answer per se
Yeah.
to those besides like her manager and such.
Yeah. Yeah. And and to me, to see some of these folks who have burnt out in the overseas companies and start up again, they seem so much happier.
Yes, yes, yeah,
And
um,
it's
yeah,
and that I think that's a hint. Some folks might, it's you're not your own person in a situation like that. A lot of times
yeah,
the things are owned by them, you are playing a part. It's a
yeah,
different everything. Um,
yep.
I mean, there's still a lot of
It's
there's still a lot of
has
yeah. Go
a
ahead.
lot of stuff that happens around it. Sorry,
Yeah,
it, but yeah, it's good for some people, bad for others.
yeah,
So
yeah. I can't. No size. It's not one size fits all. Your mileage may vary at all times.
yeah,
Not
it's the
valid in
many
Alaskan
shades of
wildlife.
gray in between.
Yes. Uh, I tell you, Rita, it's wonderful to talk with you, and I thank you for indulging an old man's questions here.
Of
Um,
course, it's a
uh,
pleasure.
I do try to come up with the right words for the questions. I don't always do that, but I
That's
try,
fine.
and I think that we need more folks like yourself out here. Um, that not only are you enjoying yourself, but trying to help some other folks along the way do it too. Um, I mentioned the word
Yeah.
empathy before. We don't have a lot of it going on right now in society. Um,
It's a skill that is it used to be kind of part of the starter pack, but now it's a very, very expensive DLC.
yes, absolutely. That's very well put. I'm going to steal that. uh, we're going to have the links for Runa in the description for this video. Um, come on again sometime, please.
Of course, it would be my pleasure. Of
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on, and we'll talk again
course.
very soon.
All right. Ta-ta for now then. Goodbye bye.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.